All right, we're live. Day 52 in quarantine. Coronavirus news update. West Virginia still has not have it, so that's good. No cases yet. No cases yet. So
We have 6 possible cases here in
wow,
Mississippi.
wow. Yeah. So just stay indoors. Don't go out. Don't do anything. You'll be fine. All right, so let's go and get to the episode at hand, season 5, episode 4. We're almost to the halfway point. Monday's the halfway point, and I feel like Monday is going to wrap everything up. Um, so episode 4, Namaste, and we see
Namaste. Yeah,
Namaste, which is
yeah,
the license plate on Howard Hamlin's car,
yep,
which is
it
great.
is.
All right, so we see Jimmy in the beginning. It's going to be a flash forward. He goes into this antique store, this pawn shop or antique store, and he's looking things to see if he can, throw it or do something with it. He finds these 3
Mhm.
bowling balls, and we don't know what he's going to do with the bowling balls until later in the episode.
Yeah,
So he finds these 3 bowling balls. He gets 3 bowling balls, and that's the teaser. That was the opener. Quick teaser, not as long as the other teaser in the beginning of the season, but just a quick teaser of Jimmy buying bowling balls.
yep.
So let's go ahead and talk about the whole bowling ball because it ties into each other. So we find out that Jimmy is actually going to go on that lunch dinner with Howard Hamlin.
Hmm.
And this Howard is a little. I think he's like on the edge. I think he's thinking that HHM is going to go under, and which I think it is because Chuck was like the heart and soul of HHM, and
Hmm.
Howard was just the puppet, Jimmy liked to call him, of HHM. So Jimmy and Howard's on this lunch that Howard invited him on, and he asks, okay, he's asking Jimmy, who's Saul Goodman? What does he represent? And Jimmy says that Saul Goodman represents the little guy, someone that's kicking them down, and he's going to be there for him. And Howard asks Jimmy, well, does it? How come Jimmy McGill can't represent that? And his response was that Saul Goodman is.
Hmm. Yep.
So Howard is wanting Jimmy to return with a job offer for HHM, and it doesn't seem like Jimmy wants it. He's
Nope.
kind of reluctant of going back to, I guess, being the shadow of his brother, knowing that his brother did not want him to be a part of HHM at all. He didn't even want
Yep.
him to be a lawyer at all.
Yep. That's true. Uh-oh, coronavirus.
Yep. I'm patient 0 here in West Virginia. Patient X. Oh my god. But you know, Howard at this point, I think Howard doesn't know where HHM is going to go because, like I previously stated, that Chuck was the thoroughbred. He was the heart of HHM, which
Yep.
I kind of had a theory that maybe because we know HHM stands for Hamlin McGill. We don't know who the second Hamlin is. We assume that it might be Howard Hamlin's father.
Hmm.
So I'm thinking what happened maybe is that Chuck and Hamlin, they're probably best friends coming out of law school, doing their own practice, and then Howard's dad had him, and then he comes into the business, and Howard's dad dies, and he's and Howard wants to basically continue the tradition of HHM because of his father and because of Chuck.
Mhm.
So that's my theory, and I wish we could get more backstory with HHM and Chuck. I think that would be a fantastic, maybe maybe a flashback with Howard and his father and Chuck, all three of them there. I think that'd be just fascinating.
Yeah, I think so.
And I hope we. And I think I said this last week. I hope we see Chuck this season, and maybe they might do that. Is do a flashback. Maybe
Yeah.
even in Monday's episode, we might see a flashback to the HHM story. But yeah, Howard is desperate. At this point, is desperate and wants Jimmy, and he's basically saying, "Oh, that stuff was between you and Chuck. It was just between you and Chuck. Didn't have nothing to do with me or the firm."
Mhm. Yeah. And it's interesting. It's interesting to see. I mean, there does seem to be a bit of desperation with Howard
Mhm.
wanting to bring Jimmy back.
Mhm.
How is HHM doing? Is it doing well? Is it doing
Yeah,
bad?
yeah, because we never hear HHM mentioned in Breaking Bad at all.
No.
So my theory is that it's going to go under. I mean, it has to. It has to go under somehow.
Yep.
And then we know that Jimmy doesn't take Howard's offer because later in this episode we see what he does with the bowling balls. He goes out at night to this big house and he takes the bowling balls and he throws it. He misses the first one. The second one he hits the back of the trunk, and then the third one he hits the car again. And we see that it's Howard Hamlin's car just because of the license plate.
Namaste.
Namaste.
Yeah.
So that's basically the biggest middle finger you can give to Howard Hamlin,
Hmm.
which was that.
Yeah.
And we do see Howard again in the teaser for next week's episode. So this whole little storyline is going to continue out, and we definitely needed to tie up some loose ends with Howard Hamlin and everything.
Hmm. Yeah. Oh.
There we go. There we go. Yeah, I'll just call him Butt.
But
Yeah. All right. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it with the whole Jimmy and Howard confrontation. So so we see. Oh. See, he's got to be quarantined with me. He's in quarantine. All right, so we see in the beginning Jimmy and Kim going off to their jobs. We see Jimmy going off to his lunch date with Howard Hamlin, and then we see Kim finish sweeping up the broken glass out of their party they had the other night.
Yeah.
So Kim goes on to her job with Mesa Verde, and she's adamant of not kicking Mr. Ackert out of his house. She is very adamant. She actually proposed a different plan that would actually put Mesa Verde 3 weeks behind. But she says, this plan is foolproof. It's going to make more money in the long run. But Kevin, the owner of Mesa Verde, doesn't want to hear it. He wants to bulldoze that house and kick the old guy out.
Mhm.
And Kim doesn't want to be that person, that type of lawyer that has no heart or whatever to kick somebody out of their house. So she recruits Jimmy for a con that Slip and Kimmy has conjured up. So we see Jimmy actually in the courtroom this time, uh, doing a case of a robbery. And I love this scene so much because it's Saul at his peak. So it's Saul at his peak. He's questioning the guy that allegedly saw this person, and he comes out with this news that that guy was not the guy that robbed him, but it was his actual twin brother, and the actual guy that robbed him was in the back. So he got a mistrial happen, which was he was all for that. He was excited about that. And Kim actually comes in and watched the whole thing play out in court.
Mhm. It was sheer brilliance on his part too.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
It was great. I was like that. I said that's classic Saul right there.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I cannot wait. I cannot wait to see how this plan comes out. Oh, I forgot the biggest one is the two the two 50% off guys, the Beavis and Butthead guys.
Oh
We
yeah.
actually see them again in the beginning. We see them begin again in the beginning, and Saul is going through over their crimes and everything, and classic Saul again. That'll be $4,000. And he said, "What about 50% off, man? That is 50% off. My normal rate it's 8,000." Which was a lie because he never had a normal rate. He just went by 8,000 because of Lalo giving him 8 grand.
Uh-huh.
Oh
Yeah,
man, I hope.
the Beavis and Butthead guy is 50% off.
Yeah, so their names is Sticky and Ron.
Sticky and Ron. Yeah.
Yeah, so and it was like 4 grand. I heard they give us a public defender for free, man. And he's like, yeah, you can use a public defender if you want to get more, months in jail. So Saul actually convinced those two to get the 4 grand out of their grandmother's account somehow, and to be their lawyer. And I hope we get to see the conclusion of this. I hope we get to see Saul in there defending these two guys.
Yeah.
And then another Saul moment is when he talked about going to rehab, and he said, the classic Saul again. I know a place where you can probably not have to go to rehab, but they said that you went to rehab, and they'll sign off on it. Again, Saul. This is Breaking Bad Saul.
Mm.
With Jimmy in and out. Yeah, I know a guy that will go to prison for you. You got to pay this much money for him to do it. It's like, oh my god, this dude's a freaking genius. Where is him as my lawyer?
Yeah.
I want him as my lawyer.
Uh-huh. And one of the interesting moments of the episode or the scenes was with Gus
Yes.
waiting for his call, and then one of his workers at Los Pollos Hermanos,
Yeah, Lyle, the manager.
Lyle. Yeah.
Oh my god, that was so nerve wracking.
Uh-huh.
Dude, I thought he was going to kill him in the freaking deep fryer.
I know. I was like, oh my gosh, what's he gonna do to this guy? Yeah, I thought he was gonna do something to him.
Yeah, I thought he was going. I thought he was going to say. I thought he was going to fill the deep fryer up, and he's going to say, "Hey, Lyle, come look at this," and just like fucking dunk him in the deep fryer and just kill him. That's exactly what I thought he was going to do. I thought he was going to kill him. Because it's like, this is not. This was not general. This is not like Manager Gus that we've seen before. We've seen. How he treats his employees. He's like, oh, hey, take some time off if you need it. But this right here is like, Lyle, you had a job, you didn't do it, it's not clean enough, and he makes him keep cleaning it until he, says it's acceptable.
Yeah.
But yeah, but we yeah. Go ahead.
That was intense.
Oh yeah,
very intense.
I was like, oh my god, this dude's gonna die.
Uh-huh.
He's gonna kill one of his employees.
That's what I thought too.
Oh my god. And he still might, because we never see this. We never seen this guy again in Breaking Bad. It's that woman manager. It's that woman manager in Breaking Bad. So we don't know what he's going to do with this guy. But I got to say, if they do that whole death by fryer, that would be one of the coolest deaths they've done ever since the whole plastic bag thing last season.
Mm-hmm.
And I absolutely love the entire sequence of the whole plastic bag when Gus comes up to that guy and punts it around him and just chokes him out and suffocates him. Loved every second of it because it was so intense. I could not take my eyes off of that.
I know.
Yeah, and with the cutscenes between Gus waiting on the phone call, we see Hank and Gomi. Classic Hank, classic Gomi. Busting each other's balls.
Yep. They're actually after one of the guys doing the dead drop.
Yeah. Yeah, so they was staking out the last dead drop. And, they found the dead drop. They $1 worth. And, Hank is like, there's something more going on. Hank is suspicious that there's something more going on, that wouldn't be this easy if there was nothing more. So they're still going to use Crazy 8 as the informant.
Yep. So they're waiting, and then they finally see the guy. And the guy gets into to get away from him. He gets into a drain pipe.
Yeah.
But he got away.
Mm-hmm.
It seemed like it was Gus's plan all along.
Well, actually, this is more of a Lalo plan, because if you remember back in the episode when he was talking to Hector, he wants to interfere with Gus's money. And this was Gus's money. This was Gus's $700,000 going to the cartel. And, he had to keep that money in there, because if he didn't, the DEA was going to be on even more. And Gus at this point is PO'd. He's pissed off because he's losing this money, and he knows that he's going to have to answer to the cartel about this.
Yep.
And I cannot wait until we get into next episode, because I think next episode we're probably going to see Gus answering to the cartel about where's the money and what happened to it, and how could he let this happen. And Gus has to pull something out of his ass to cover this up somehow. I mean, he can't do that whole chicken chiller this time. He's going to have to do something bigger about him losing this much money.
700,000. That's not chicken feed.
No, it's not.
near the end of the episode, we see where Saul goes to Mr. Acker's house.
Yes. Yeah. So
shows,
Kim, yeah. So Kim
shows him,
recruits. Go ahead.
yeah, shows him the picture. He says, "It looks like a horse having sex with looks like a man having sex with a horse."
Yeah, I got to do the actual quote. Looks like a man fucking a horse. And
Yeah,
I love Saul. He's like, yeah, that man is me. That horse is Mesa Verde.
Mr. Verde.
Basically, yeah, yeah. Basically, Kim recruited Jimmy Saul at this point to go to Mr. Ackard to get him as a client, so that they can go to court over this whole land and house situation.
Mm-hmm.
And so, which is kind of nervous to me because we know that Kim is not mentioned in Breaking Bad whatsoever. So this right here might be the catalyst of the breakup between Jimmy and Kim, because what Saul is going to do is that he's going to do to the extreme. He's going to take it beyond the point where Kim is comfortable with, and he's going to do something that's so unforgivable, which is the season called Something Unforgivable. So what Saul's going to do is, something so unforgivable that Kim can't even forgive him for, and that's going to loosen their ties and their relationship.
Yep, that could be how it plays out. But the final frames, the final scene of this episode has Mike once again.
Mm-hmm.
No, there is a scene where Mike goes to babysit Kaylee again.
Oh yeah, he tries to babysit, but Stacy is like, "Oh, you didn't answer my phone calls, so I got Emily, and she's already here." And Mike is adamant. He regrets going off on Kaylee. He regrets, and he's trying to fix that. But Stacy is trying to give Mike some time away from Kaylee so he can, I guess, collect his thoughts together. And Mike, he's still grieving over Warner's death, and we see him, coming from the bar again, drunk again, and the same exact guys are there, and I think he's there looking for a fight. I think he went by that place again to look for a fight.
Mm-hmm.
And they gave him a fight. The guy pulled out a knife and stabbed him, and then we see him waking up at some unknown location. Looks to me in Mexico somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
So, my theory, it's got to be Gus. I think he had Tyrus or Victor, following Mike and watching Mike to see if he's going to, cause some trouble. And I think that's the way they go to Mexico. I think that's how he got to Mexico, is because of Victor or Tyrus picking him up and taking him to probably where Gus's personal doctor is in
Mm-hmm.
Mexico.
Yep, that's true. Because Mike was patched up. I mean, he had a bandage on where he got stabbed.
Yeah, and it looked like I wonder how. I bet that had been like a flash forward, like a few months from when that happened.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's what it is. I think that is a little time forward going into pushing us closer to the Breaking Bad, eclipse that's going to happen between
Mm-hmm.
Bad.
So this was another excellent episode. I don't think we missed anything, did we?
I don't think so either. So next episode on Monday is called Dedicato a Max, and it translates to Dedicated to Max.
Ooh,
and we
so
do
this
know.
could be,
Go ahead.
this could be about Gus's lover.
Yeah, that's what
His
I'm thinking
implied
too.
lover?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too, because we know his name is Max, and I hope we get a little bit more Gus story. And people was like saying, "Oh, we need a spinoff and see what Gus has been up to in Chile and all that." I don't think we need that. I think they can do the writers can show what happened in Chile just by using a simple flashback in the teaser of what happens to Gus in Chile, for him to move out of Chile for him to go to Mexico and do business with Donnie Ladio and Hector. I don't think we need a whole 5 seasons episode of Gus and his story. Even though it'd be fascinating to see, I just don't think we need that.
Yeah.
But we do see in the teaser Kim talking with Mesa Verde and telling them that Jimmy is the lawyer they got, Mr. Ackard got to represent him. And something's going to go down, because in the next episode is called Wexler versus McGill, or Wexler versus Goodman. And that has to be the conclusion of the whole Mr. Ackard plot in this episode,
Mm-hmm.
in the season. I'm excited.
Wait, is that the name of this? Is that the name of this upcoming Monday's episode?
No, it's episode 6. Episode
Oh.
5 is dedicated to Max.
Mm.
So we'll probably see the court scene play out in episode 6. And if it's a court scene anything like Chicanery, and that whole epic episode, that was a fantastic episode. Loved every bit of Chicanery. You had Michael McKean, Bob Odenkirk, Ray Seahorn. Tremendous acting all around.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Monday is the halfway point of this season, and then we get to the final 5 leading into next year's season 6. Now, with this whole coronavirus, they might postpone filming, so it might be another year or so before we get to see the epic conclusion, the series finale, which I cannot. I don't have the patience for that.
We've already seen Tom Hanks and Rita Wilson.
Yeah, I saw that.
They've been quarantined.
Yeah. Yeah, then I think a whole bunch of basketball players have been quarantined too. A couple of basketball players. Right. But yeah, I think we covered all of the main points, main plots that's happening, and I think we probably know what they're trying to do in finishing out the season is that Gus has to finish up his the super lab. Lalo has to die for Gus to finish it up. And we didn't see Lalo. Go ahead.
Hopefully Lalo won't die until next season.
Yeah. I hope we get at least one more season out of Tony Dalton, because oh my God, he's like freaking. It's like Negan, You love to watch him on the screen.
Yeah.
Because you don't know what he's going to do next. Jeffrey Dean Morgan plays great, and Negan is like you want to watch him on this.
Definitely.
Screen.
Yeah.
I mean, all right. Speaking of Negan, I actually watched The Walking Dead just a few hours ago, so I know, and it was a really good episode. I must say, it was a really good episode. It was. Basically, the Whisperers are going into battle with Hilltop, and they're focusing on them getting ready prepare for that battle. And and the subplot is Eugene with his little radio girlfriend Stephanie
Hmm.
finding out actually where she's at, and props, she's in West Virginia, in Charleston, up by the Kanawha River. So you know, so props
Yeah.
for them to represent West Virginia like that.
Yep.
So basically, Hilltop is going into battle with the Whisperers, and man, that tense final minutes of that episode of them preparing for battle and then them waiting on the horde to come to them. Loved every second of it, and I love the we've never seen this before. The electric fence
Yeah.
and the walkers going towards the electric fence and then getting zapped. We've never
Yeah.
seen that before, and I just loved it. I was like, "Oh my god, that is so cool! I wish I would have come up with that." I mean,
Yeah. That was pretty cool.
mhm. And then they set up this massive amounts of barbed wire and these rebarb uh, columns that's in the ground, and they're just going at it with each walker.
Hmm.
And then we see in the way in the back, we see Alpha doing these slingshots of what some kind of liquid, and we find out that it was gasoline. They were taking gasoline and they were slinging it across and then lighting the whole thing on fire. And then they're trying to run back to Hilltop, and then Alpha went with the flaming arrows, and that's on fire. Hilltop's on fire, and then the horde's coming after them, and they're in the middle. That was just, I loved it. Loved every bit of that. It was great, and
Yeah.
it was a great cliffhanger too.
It was. It was a tremendous episode, no question.
Yeah, I think it was like probably one of the strongest so far in this second half of the season.
Hmm.
Let's see here.
Even 411 Mania said that the first two episodes of the half season, so when they came back, were kind of weak, but this one was good.
Yeah, I have to agree with that. I completely agree with that. I'm trying to think what else. So we know that Ezekiel told Carol about his cancer.
Hmm.
I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, he told Carol about his cancer, and I think he actually told Daryl as well about
Yeah.
his cancer. So it seems like they might be in the early stages of King Ezekiel, because we know
Yeah.
Michonne is leaving at the end of this season, so we don't know what's going to happen with her and her story arc or character. We know that Maggie's supposed to be coming back.
Yeah.
Um, and the running joke is that Daryl's going to die. Daryl's going to die. The running joke with me is like Daryl's going to die, and I was watching this episode and I was like, oh my god, they actually might do it, because they were focusing on Daryl so much in this episode. I thought they might pull the trigger and actually kill him, because they had the, I guess it was like the one shot of him, walking, and then he's getting that mace and he's picking it up and he's coming out through the hilltop gates, and he's leading the charge and everything. It's like, oh my god, they're actually going to do it. but they didn't pull the trigger yet. But there's still a few more episodes left, so they might actually end up doing that.
Tomorrow's the halfway point of The Walking Dead this season too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's called Walk With Us. Let's see here. So, Oh, Negan and Alpha had a scene together.
Mhm.
I loved it. I loved it because it was Negan saying, "Oh, this is the next level for me to get in this the Whisperer shit." Yeah, it was like it was a weird scene because Alpha had Negan take the switch and hit her on the arm, and Negan was like didn't want to do that. This is not the same Negan we've seen back in the beginning of season 7. Negan was kind of reluctant not to do that.
Yeah. Well, now they've given him his own mask.
Yes, I saw that. That was pretty cool. That was pretty freaking cool.
He does have Lucille.
Oh, yeah, I did see Lucille, but is it the actual Lucille or was it just a new Lucille?
I think it may be the actual Lucille. Remember that guy found it?
Oh, yeah, that's right. Ooh, man.
The guy that Negan killed because he killed the woman and the child.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember that. So that might be Lucille.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh. We do see another Negan and Alpha talk, and he was like, instead of killing them, let's make them surrender and join us. And then at the end of the episode, we see Alpha and Negan again, and he asked her, "I thought you was gonna make him join us," and she responded, "Yeah, part of my herd." And then Negan's response, I loved it, was like, "Damn, you're badass."
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm kind of liking this whole dynamic between Alpha and Negan. It's like a power couple. They're a power
Uh-huh.
couple.
Yeah. Very similar.
Mm-hmm. And I think Beta's going to get jealous because Negan now to be the second guy in charge. Negan came and took over his territory, I guess you can say. And I don't think it's going to end too well between Negan and Beta. I think there's going to be a confrontation between the two.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like who can kill Beta? I mean, the guy survived a freaking fall down an elevator shaft.
Dude, he's like freaking Jason, Michael Myers.
Yeah.
And didn't he get oh yeah, he did get shot at, but he had a bulletproof vest on.
Yeah.
I remember that. It was like it was like not last week, but the week before. I think someone shot him, and he was just laying there, and it's like oh, he's dead, but then he gets back up. It's like, holy shit, this dude's like freaking Jason. And we found out he had a bulletproof vest on. I mean, that dude's pretty big. He can play Jason or Michael in a movie. I mean, I'll
Yeah.
watch it. Um, there's another shot that I actually see Carol looking at the paintings of the fallen members of the of Alexandria, and then we see as soon as she leaves, we see Glenn as the main painting in the center. Love that shot.
Mhm.
Is there anything else I'm missing?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I think that was pretty. It was a good episode. I really enjoyed it. I think the last, I want to say probably like the last 15, 20 minutes of it was of them preparing for battle and all that, and the epic cliffhanger. I mean, that's how you do a cliffhanger, Scott Gimple. Not that crap that you did in season 6. Good Lord.
Yeah.
I'll never forgive him for that. That was a horrible cliffhanger. Horrible cliffhanger.
Yeah.
Never forgive him for that. But yeah. Yeah, so tomorrow night is Walk With Us. Yeah, so I think we covered everything. So yeah, let's go ahead and wrap up here. So yeah, tomorrow night's Walking Dead is Walk With Us, and then Monday night's Better Call Saul is dedicated to Max. You know, a lot of things is happening right now with the coronavirus and President Trump and all this stuff. I think we might have to do a not mainstream. Let's do a not mainstream. Let's do it Sunday night. Let's do a special not main before Walking Dead.
Oh,
before Walking Dead.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Before Walking Dead. We'll do a special not mainstream before Walking Dead, and because the news is breaking like every 5 seconds about this coronavirus, and this is something important that's going on that we must talk about, because it's odd that 49 out of the 50 states has a case of the coronavirus. West Virginia being the only state that doesn't have it yet. The 22nd.
22nd? Okay.
Yeah, the 22nd, not mainstream, and what I'll do is I'll bring in see if Amy wants to join, or Nikki, or whoever may want to join. But yeah, we'll do it. How about 7 o'clock? So it'll give us time.
7 Eastern?
Yeah, 7 Eastern.
Okay,
so
6 Central. Okay.
Yeah, fix your time. Yeah.
That works.
Yeah. Do 7 o'clock. But yeah, a lot of stuff is happening, and it's like, you know, it's got to the point where it's like, holy crap, we might have to stay indoors until all this blows over. But yeah, we'll discuss more of the outbreak 2020, I guess you can call it. 2nd, Sunday, 7 o'clock Eastern, 6 Central. I'll put out links for that on the Politically Alternative Media page and stuff like that. But until then, we'll see you here next week, the 21st. We'll talk again, Walking Dead and Better Call Saul. I gotta say, it's been a while since we did the your famous rating system, Henry. What would you rate Walking Dead and Better Call Saul? And what was the better episode in your opinion?
Well, Better Call Saul was still the better episode. I would rate it a 9.5 out of 10. Walking Dead, I'd give a good solid 9 out of 10.
I gotta agree. And yeah, as for which is the better episode, I gotta say, this one was kind of a toughie for me, because the ending for The Walking Dead was just fantastic. I love that cliffhanger, and then the ending for for Better Call Saul, with Mike being in somewhere in Mexico, we presume, was just another good cliffhanger. I'm going to shock you. I'm going to have to say I'm going to go with The Walking Dead, just because of the cliffhanger, because of the better cliffhanger. It was like more action packed. Whereas with Mike, I loved it. It was not like an action sequence. It was more like, oh, holy crap, where is he? Whereas The Walking Dead was like, holy shit, how are they going to get out of this one?
Yeah.
So The Walking Dead edged it out a little bit this week. We'll see who wins next week. But on that note, we'll see you here next week with another discussion with Better Call Saul and The Walking Dead. Good night, everybody.